look at the Series C funding, how that has dropped. I think 2025, $5 billion of Series C is probably what? Less than 2017 here. It's 2018.
Wow. This is only India, is it?
It's
Yeah.
only India, yeah. So why would,
That's
I
fine.
was generally thinking, why would this happen? Like, there are companies, depending on the kind of business you're doing, who might be prematurely asked to, become profitable and get listed. Because it looks like there is lack of appetite for Series C funding.
This is not
Actually,
Series C.
how
Post
do
Series C है ये.
which is fine. Series D
Series
भी ले लो.
The private
यार,
funding, na, basically.
if you
Private
look at
funding
the
of large
first
companies.
10 years, let's say 2012 से 24, a lot of the Series C plus market was crossover funds.
Correct.
Global funds who were investing
That's
in
dried
India,
out.
right? And that has totally disappeared. And now, if you see, I don't think, by the way, this is covered in public, but there are enough VC funds and PE funds which have now either closed or moved on. वो अनाउंस नहीं होता है. Nobody announces कि we are closing the fund, right? But अगर कंपनी बंद होती है तो एकदम इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स पे आता है, अच्छा, this company had raised 200 million is now closing. But funds which are like $1 billion pluses have stopped investing now because either they are not raising a new one or India is not in their strategy.
You mean the international ones, right? The crossover funds.
No, there are India-specific funds also. Like, for example, 8 Roads, which was effectively Fidelity's balance sheet,
Correct.
has now announced that we'll now have a single team for Asia-Pacific. We will not have an India-specific. So that just means that...
That just means, yeah.
So there are multiple such situations that are happening. So overall, the capital that was available to be deployed in India post-Series C has just shrunk. I don't think...
What do you think then, Revant, is this starting to become an opportunity now? While this was not an opportunity in 21, isn't it now with more number of companies coming in? We are seeing IPOs happening and there will be companies who would want to delay, right?
Yes.
And everyone today is being rushed to get IPO karlo.
So there is a increasing pool of domestic capital. Let's say you take there were multiples and the Kedaras and the A91s of the world already, but now a creator there are multiple such funds now. I think that will start, but they need domestic pools of capital. I don't think the international pools of capital are getting excited about
Correct.
Series B, Series C. So the domestic family offices will look to maybe a few GPs who will say that there is a big opportunity now in Series B, Series C, because compared to before now in India, the Series B, Series C risk is much lower and the path to IPO, path to profitability is much more cleaner. Path to exit is also, therefore, I don't need to wait 10 years. 5 years, mein shayad company IPO kar legi. So you're talking about the year 5 to year 10 period where, and that pool will have to increase a little bit, but that will need domestic capital in mind. Or family offices start stepping up.
People starting to talk about this, any early signs of emergence here?
यार ये बहुत ही ना hard market रहा है. Like traditionally, GPs have told me that the worst asset class has been Series BC because risk doesn't materially go down. At least that's what they used to see. And rewards were not that disproportionate. So most of the rewards would get captured by the seed Series A, max Series B per person. Like let's take Misho, right? The Series B was peak. They hold as much almost as elevation which was Series A. Of course, they are a larger fund, so they could deploy more over time. But if you look at SoftBank and Nasper's investment price, which could be called a Series D, there's not that much of an upside. Or a Series E, where BCap entered at 5 billion. Maybe it's like, and it's been what, 4 years since that. So they would be like sub 10% IRR. So the risk-reward ratio for Series C plus was always very poor in India because of the valuation. Risk-adjusted return, if I can call it that, was not so great. So I think it's going to take some time for people.
Is that changing? Because,
it is.
Let's say, आज से 5 साल पहले जाए ना लोग बोलते थे स्टार्टअप का कभी आईपीओ नहीं होता है. I think that has changed. स्टार्टअप कभी प्रॉफिटेबल नहीं होते हैं. That has changed. Let's play out 5-7 years from here. Don't you think कि अभी तक हम बोलते थे यार स्टार्टअप बड़ी कंपनी नहीं बनती. I think that will also get changed because India is going through that phase of building out. And hence there is a opportunity getting created now here. Which is earlier, you are right, was capped. तो क्या होता था कि रिटर्न बनता ही नहीं था.
और I think the risk, I think return बनता था. Issue क्या होता था ना, अभी भी होता है. Like for example, live at Zepto. So there are two kinds of businesses. One that keep guzzling capital. Like ideally Series C tak a consumer brand would become profitable and would not need more money. If they need money, a PE can come in and sort of support, right? Or SaaS businesses would require capital, but lesser and lesser capital post Series C, because you can't burn that much in sales. Ideally, if you're a strong PMF, then you shouldn't burn, right? Those businesses will still get capital, but there will be a very select pool of investors will be very valuation sensitive, because traditionally the risk reward hasn't gone out. And if you see the Kedaras and the multiples of the world, they were always very sensitive about valuation, because they acted like true blood private equity, who said my cost of capital is X, I need to get 25% IRR in 5 to 7 years. I will enter at this price, I will exit at this price, and I need to see a 5-year window. You couldn't see that necessarily in these fast growth urban companies, Zepto, these kind of models, which were winner take all models, where the cash guzzlement would also be very high. So those investors and those models are now far and few between. The businesses that will require 20, 30, $50 million, uske liye I think utna capital hai ab market mein. Maybe that's the other reason why the balloons look very big, because a lot of this capital now was guzzled by the Swiggies. Like, Swiggy raised $4.5 billion in its journey. तो सीरीज D, E, F में भी कितना पैसा उठाते थे वो लोग. अब क्या हो गया ना, ये सब अभी Zepto
billion of primary, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So Zepto has done 2 billion plus now, right? So these models now were the reasons why you would see these big circles. But I think other models beyond Series C don't need that kind of capital. So I think you're right, there's an opportunity, but I think there are enough funds already circling those opportunities. It's just that they're quite valuation sensitive. Like, I don't know traditionally if me and you, Chirag, would love engaging with them, because we would want to believe that our risk-adjusted return ability is a little higher than what they would want to.
No, and I get it that they will be, because they are, they have historic data points in which, they probably have burnt their fingers or want to be like super cautious of getting in at the right valuation. Considering ki, there is a story of having tremendous growth from here, but still, would want to be at least have a margin of safety. Hence, want to enter at the right point. But is that the reason, why we are seeing some of these secondaries only funds start to emerge?
I was about to say that.
A lot
a
more.
very good point. I have a feeling that now, because of, there are 2-3 reasons, right? One is because you now have certainty of an IPO or near certainty of an IPO for certain companies. Also, now IPO pricing is also like in India, the rich market. I don't know if you guys saw the LG Electronics IPO. One of my friends was telling me, brokers now, when they are deploying capital, or when someone is deploying capital for you in companies that are above 50 PE, SEBI has mandated that you get a notification that this investment is going into a place which is above 50 PE. Are you sure you want to do it? So there is now a certain there is now
investor protection. A good point, actually.
So now there is a understanding that IPO markets are rich, maybe because of supply, maybe because of exuberance, combination of both. But what ends up happening is now people are saying that if IPO market we're expecting, let's say 100 at 60, 70, 50, 60, 70, like 12 months prior, we can start. And so a lot of secondary funds have come up because companies don't need capital. Because companies don't need capital not because they have become stable. Companies don't need capital because they need 1 or 2 years of profitability before they go public. So now they don't need the money. So they have kind of figured out what their potential 20% year-on-year growth on a scale is. Secondary firms come in, price lower, early investors get exits. I have a feeling a lot of this post-Series C stuff kind of either become secondaries or a lot of funds will move into early stage investing also. तो इंटरेस्टिंग स्पेस हो गया अभी बहुत.